This fella here with the Nissan tells us he has no heat unless he's going up a hill. So let's go see. Oh, he left us a note. It's Christmas, so don't kill Eric. Well, that's good. At least that's on his to-do list. This guy's something else, let me tell you. Okay, I hear the mode door changing, but this guy, he ain't joking. There's like no heat. 45 degrees, I see it's, I mean, according to the gauge, it's warmed up. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing, even on low. So we got on hot, panel. I mean, there's like nothing. I mean, the ambient temperature is probably 45 degrees in here. Let's take it for a rep just for grins and giggles. Well, he explained he had a little bit of heat. But I was just holding the engine RPMs up and it didn't change at all. So a couple things to think about. A, you know, are the mode doors switching? B, is it out of coolant? Or is there, you know, a heater shutoff valve on the heater core? Because even just this little bit of load, you know, 46 degrees. C, you know, is the thermostat bad and the engine's not heating up at all? I don't think that's our case. But let's go out here on the big road and hammer on it. I can see we're getting a little bit now, a little bit of change. Whoa, too much thunder! Oh, hey, we did get some heat though. I can feel that. We got blasted with some heat. Where we at now? Woo! It's hot here. 69er. And climbing. So that's interesting. It kind of got a burst of heat pretty quickly there. Temp gauge is still right where it was. Interesting. Okay, let's go back to the shop here and do some preliminaries now that we've gathered a little bit of data. And you can see even with it on low and, you know, full hot, at an idle, it's dropping off pretty quick. It's starting to get cold in here again. Not as cold as it was, but definitely not great. Feels warm under here, so that's good. Let's find the hood proper. There's that. It's broken, so we'll stick it right there. It has coolant in it, but it's down to the minimum mark. Okay, so the coolant's a little low, but it's not out by any means. So that's good. I don't know, it must be low. I don't feel coolant squishing in this hose, and I don't see the level changing over there, so that's kind of curious. But you know, the hoses do feel uncomfortably warm, so they're quite hot. It's one of the heater hoses there, just kind of inspecting it to see if there's any leaks or any reason for any type of coolant loss. I couldn't find my fine tooth comb, but I found my mirror, and I went over this sucker. The water line runs across the back, just kind of looking at any evidence of any leaks. Particularly on these with the plastic aluminum radiators, you know, look down the tubs where the plastic tubs hook onto them. A lot of times you'll see them leaking, and this uses that Asian blue coolant, so it's usually pretty easy to spot a leak. And I don't see anything. I don't smell anything. Like I said, the coolant's only down a little bit. I did pop the cap here off the radiator, and that's, I mean, it's like, you know, right close to the very tippy top, so no real issues there. I guess if this were mine and I were him and he were me, I'd put a thermostat in it. I'd change the coolant in the engine, just given the age and the mileage. I'd flush out the heater core and blast that out, make sure that baby's good, and then I think we'll be good to go. So that's what I'm going to suggest to him and see what he says. Well, that was easy. He said, do it. Okay. Didn't even ask for an estimate, just do it. We've got the, I don't know what you guys can see, probably nothing, but there's a drain plug right here. We're gonna try to get some of it in the bucket. Not all of it, but some of it. I gotta find it again. Takes a Phillips head. Right in the bottom of the radiator. You gotta have to catch it because I think this is that kind of plug that comes out all the way. Yes, sir. There it is. So it's that little fella right there. Is he moaning up there? So we'll let that drizzle. Stick this where we won't lose it. There, now she's peeing. And before you ask, this cap is not broke. This is the pressure side over here at the overflow, so to speak. Where to begin? Always begin at the beginning. We need to take this stuff off. We'll wiggle this hose here. Get that unhooked. You're gonna have to deal with the furnace today, just FYI. I usually turn it off for you folks, but it's chilly. And it's unusually loud on my videos. I've mentioned many a time before. In real life though, it's pretty quiet. We're gonna whip this off. Maybe. And get a magnet tray. There's that, so a couple little rubber dongers there. You could use some lube. Okay, and there's this baby. We'll take and set this to the side. We'll take this straight out of our way for the sake of our sanity. Give us a little bit more room. Hose over there, so we'll just set that like that because we don't really need it all the way out of our way. Ooh, we can upsell that baby. And then what I'd like to do, because the thermostat is right here on the lower hose where it goes in. Now if I wasn't shooting a video, probably could just go in blind here, but I think for the video's sake, to give us a little extra room, I think on this one, I don't believe the fan shroud comes in two pieces. If it does, we'll take the upper half off. If it don't, which I don't think it does, sometimes Nissan's really nice and they make it so you can keep the fan on there. Let's see here. I suppose we could look in service data. Take them two screws out, stick them in our magnet tray. Take the rubber overflow tube here off. Let me just look down inside the shroud. Oh, it does look like it separates. Hooray! I don't know how, but I can see a seam on it, which is nice. So let's take this off all the way. Just to get this to the side. Now we have a wire here on the electric cooling fan. We will unplug it. Maybe. This is Nissan we're dealing with, they're connectors. The connector's disconnected. Sometimes with Nissans, you gotta turn off the camera. Make a little noise. We're gonna unhook the upper radiator hose. Stick that right there. Okay, so now our shroud is loose. We just need to figure out how that bottom half disengages. Let me give you the short answer. I don't know. I popped the ends loose. There's something on the bottom holding it for the 2 minutes it's gonna take me to pull the fan off. I'm just gonna pull the fan off. Just 4 10mm bolts on it, or 4 10mm nuts. Let's crack them loose. I'll just take them out. We'll just pull the whole fan out, then we'll have a look at it and see. The skid plate on this thing's pretty rusty to get to the bottom of it. So I don't want to go make a mountain out of a molehill here, any more than we already have. So I'm just going to crack these nuts loose that hold the fan on. We're going to pull the whole fan assembly and everything up out of the way, and then, like I say, we'll be able to see what's up then. So once you get those 4 nuts out, oh, I was going to say, once those babies come off, the fan will come off, but sometimes you got to pop them a little bit harder. They can be stuck on the hub. I think we're going to pull this bolt out of the fan, out of the electric fan, and then I believe, if all's right in the world, this whole thing should come up. There we go. Just kind of got to hold the fan here, and then I just don't want to drop the fan into the radiator, so I'm going to get that out of our way first. There we go. Because these things can be kind of sharp. I'll set that down. And then the electric fan here, I think, just the one wire. Feels like there is a hose or something here on the bottom here. We'll get the electric fan out of the way. That just sits in the bottom of the radiator, so there's nothing, or down in this core support, so there's nothing really holding that thing in other than the one upper bolt. Now we can see what the bottom of this sucker is made out of, if anything. It was almost too convenient, almost like it was engineered that way. The one hose, I'll show you when I pull this, it should be free now. Yeah. Get this right out of there. The one hose you could access through the oil filter spot where you get the oil filter. And the other one was easily accessible, just on the outside, just reaching through. So there, I'll show you where those, so those 2 hoses, there's one hose that hooks here, and there was another one that hooks here. There's a little access cover on the skid plate, two bolts. You could reach through that one. Of course, this one's right out on the edge. But let's see. Oh, okay, that's why I couldn't reach down there and figure this out. This is the bottom of the shroud. Ah, you stink pot. That's how that comes off. So we can stick that. Yeah, I guess we can pop it into there. You have to probably give it the classic reach around. Feel those babies on there. Or we can just put it back together the way we took it apart, so we don't have to worry about trying to reach down and snap these in, which I think that's what we're gonna do, because really it's not too difficult to get the whole shroud out of there. Well, this is embarrassing. Guess you should have got your mirror down there a little closer there, ding dong. That lower hose has a little bit of crust and corrosion on there around that clamp, so there is a little bit of seepage there. Our thermostat lives up here, so I guess it's a good thing that we pulled this all apart. Get a little better look at the radiator, and then yeah, wow, this guy's a loser. I'm only human, folks. I guess when I didn't smell it with my big schnoz, I didn't get too awful concerned. I mean, obviously it's not like a huge leak, it's pee-peeing on the ground, but let's get our hose clamp pliers, get that off there, see what kind of corrosion and crud we have. I just looked, nobody has a hose for it in stock, so hose doesn't feel super terrible. It's not all mush near the ends. We have to unhook it up here anyway, so let's unhook both ends. Let's see here. All the way down. If I can reach that sucker. I have to use my other hand here. I think it's a little longer. Oh, it must be because I can reach it with this arm. Ah, there it goes. Classic move right there, boys. Wow. Classic move. That gives you your explanation. The slight bit of coolant loss that this thing had. Wow. Nobody's gonna trust me anymore, I'll tell you that. That's a fact. I'm all touting how I wouldn't have taken this off unless we were doing a video, yada yada. When really in my heart I probably would have. How much of that's broke? That's at least halfway. I should be able to get a hold of that sucker and peel it off there. Find it. I'm using my long arm. Let me get a hook. There we go. Just wanted to spin that hose clamp to bust it loose here. Come on, baby. That arm definitely is shorter, I'm not gonna lie. Disproportionate. Just trying to pry that off a little bit. Just like so. Then we can get the rest of the clamp off. There it is, your classic Chrysler broken clamp. Nissan, Chrysler the imports. I'm almost embarrassed to the point I want to get rid of this video, but we're not gonna, because that's how we roll. If that's the biggest mistake I make today, I'm doing pretty good, in my opinion. We're gonna unhook this from the thermostat. Set that down there. I think we have one more hose here, the small hose, I believe, hooks to the thermostat housing. This clamp we're going to replace because this one's pretty rusty. Really rusty. So that one there, we're going to change that one out with a regular worm drive. And I tell you what, before we get any coolant all over his belt, let's take that off, because that's looks like the OG probably. Get a little coolant on your belt, they tend to get a little squawky. So we'll take that like that. We'll give it a little mark so we know which side faces out with an arrow. This way out. Oh, we got a little coolant on it. Stick that up there. One of the studs we have to put back here. And the idler there for the fan. And then looks like a few 4 10mm maybe right there. I'd show you, but we took all this stuff off so you can see it, and now you can't see. You'll see it in a minute. Trust me. Bolt number 1. Bolt number 2, same length. Number 3. Oh, get your bucket, fellas. Get your bucket. Got it. And last but not least, numero 40. Bolt number 4. And there's your thermostat on a Nissan 4.0. Did I even tell you guys what engine this had in it? It's big. I don't know that much. There it is. Your 432-180 thermostat housing. It's supposed to come with a gasket. And it did. That's great. Didn't come with a sponsorship though. Oh, hey, we took out 4 bolts. What's that telling you? That's telling you we took out 1 bolt too many. I'll tell you that. So we'll have to put that back. Oh, I think we took out a timing cover bolt. So the 3 bolts here that are the same length are for the thermostat housing. The one that's a goat shorter Must be for the timing cover. I guess we can put that one back. This whole video is a giant mistake. Perfect. I'm going to reach under here. We're going to wipe off where this goes. Now I'm going to have to look in there with a mirror because I can't even see it myself. Set this down. I think it looks good. I also said that I didn't see any coolant leaks. So how can you trust me? Yeah, it looks good, trust me. I'm gonna take our gasket here and knock the little punch outs out of it. The gasket's got adhesive on one side. Son of a mother. Oh, great. It didn't even go in the bucket. Today's my lucky day. Knock out that gasket right there. We can take the adhesive off. Wish all gaskets came with this. It would make putting them on a lot easier. Wouldn't be using so much spray tack. Let's see there. That's off. I believe this will stick right to the thermostat. I think that's the way it was oriented, and it is. So we'll line up those holes. Very gingerly push that down. So that's stuck on there now. Well, it's got a jiggle pin. Yeah, so the little jiggle pin there, that'll be at the top. Negative. It'll be at the bottom on this one. Usually your jiggle pin's in the top of the thermostat. But hey, whatever. I don't write the rules. So we'll stick this right down there where we found it. You're just gonna have to do it by feel. You'll know once you get it started. Excuse me. There's one. Find the other ones here. Get them lined up. There's that one. And then there's one more in the bottom. Perfect. Don't use the Ugga Dugga gun on that. I'm just going to use the socket to thread it in all the way. I'll give you guys a picture of it once it's all in there, but if you've made it this far and you're DIYing it, you'll know. Now the aftermarket uses, at least this aftermarket, has a paper gasket as opposed to the steel gasket of the OEM. I wouldn't 100% trust factory torque specs. I could be wrong assuming that. I kind of trust my gut a little bit more when it comes to snugging these up and just how it feels. So I got out the big ratchet. Just gonna work it, snug them up here a little bit. Don't go crazy with it. You don't want to split the gasket and push it out if you get real hog wild with it. Because then you'll be inside looking for a cereal box to make a new gasket. You're welcome for that free tip. Yes, it does work. Not that I've done it, but I've got buddies. Okay, I've done it, but not on a professional level. We'll come in for the money shot. So there it is, folks. That's where it lives. You got the 3 bolts. Don't take that one out. It's unnecessary. Just the 3 that hold it on. Easy peasy. Went and grabbed us a few hose clamps out of inventory. I'll stick the little hose here on first. What's going to be the best way to get that clamp? Ooh, not that way. Not that way. Kind of an inconvenient one for a worm drive. So So we'll slip that back up on there. See if I can reach it through here. As far as our lower hose goes, I don't think that one's going to be such a big a deal. Now that one was a big deal, but we'll stick up our upper right there, not a problem. Of course, the bottom one. Not a problem either. Let's stick that on there. Now I see it has a little Christmas tree fastener on it that was not into the frame, but it has a hole right there. Must have been like that its whole life. There. Wow. Guy at the factory must have screwed that one up. We'll snug these clamps up. Got a little antifreeze here on the AC compressor. On the AC clutch. A little bit down here. Let's reinstall our belt the correct orientation. Anybody remember how it goes? Should have wrote it down, but we didn't. We'll figure it out. That's what we do. That's what that fellow looks like right there. I say now we just take and stick our fan and our shroud back in there. We're just gonna stick it in all one piece, just like we took it out, so we don't have to fiddle you know, with the skid plate or trying to click anything in. And then we can go under here. We can reach this hose through that hole. And then this hose, we can reach through this opening, so not a big deal. So I think we'll get it started just like so. We'll just set the empty shroud down in. We need to clear, what do we need to clear? Not much. AC line over here. Throttle body. We'll just kind of get it right about there. We should be able to stick our fan down in. Be careful not to damage the front of your radiator, obviously. Stick this baby right over there. It's got two little slots that goes down inside the shroud. And you'll see where it hooks in. Actually, it hooks into little standoffs on the radiator, not the core support. And then the fan, you gotta be careful with these things. These things can be razor sharp, and I assume the sharpening of the blade on the offside edge, so where the air comes off, I assume they get so sharp because of debris that comes across them and constantly, you know, abrading away until these things are razor sharp. I used to see a lot when I used to work on semis. You know, of course, they would be, you know, 1,000,000 miles, 750,000 miles, and these things would be like razor blades. And I assume just because they've been driven more and more abrasives have come across them. I could be completely wrong in that theory, but that's what I always chalked it up to. Stick this fan head here, slip this one down here, and I'm just gonna leave that laying in the fan shroud momentarily. I want to make sure our electric fan sits down in the little pegs where it's supposed to, and it has, so we'll stick one bolt in there. If it doesn't go in correctly, you know, it won't line up here like it has. Don't put those in with the Ugga Dugga. Put them in with the little ratchet. Okay, there's that, so that's good. And then I'm going to reach down here and stick our fan back where it belongs. And then we'll stick our fan shroud back up on here where it belongs, which that sits on two little pegs. Easy peasy. The peg's about 1 inch long, that's why I wasn't lifting it up high enough to get it up and in there. While I was down there, I clipped those two hoses back on. And then there's one more spot here where it clips onto the side. Right there. And then of course you have your harness, your wiring harness, we'll plug that in. Right there. Clip it in there. Clip it in there, and then there's one more wire clip right here on the side, so there's 3 total. And those are all clipped in, so not a big deal. Now I'm just going to tighten up the 4 bolts on the fan. Once you get those babies snugged up, don't forget to tighten up your fan shroud here, which you already did. There's that. We're gonna put our upper hose back on here. I think we got everything else. Find this little guy. Put that back right where it was. Oh, and then we have our hose here. That's one thing we forgot. Click that back in exactly where it was. We'll never know we were here. There's that. There we have it, folks. Let's put the thing back on here, the air intake. Slide this baby up in there. Don't forget your clamp. Don't forget your hose. Oh, easy, easy. There's that. The hose should have a little spot that it lines right up with. Couple 10s. They were the ones with the Phillips head mark in the middle. There's those. Swing this baby back around. We didn't unhook that one hose, remember? We unhooked our mass airflow was all we did. Hose there on what it must be a, no, the vent hose for the front diff or what it is, but it has just one clip in it. I didn't call them back to upsell them on the air filter yet, so we're just gonna pretend we didn't see that. Of course, we'll let them know, obviously. There's that, and then we just need to stick the little beauty cover up there on the engine. Oh, it's beautiful now. That's why they call it a beauty cover. There's that. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Probably playing with fire back here. Well, we're going to attempt to unhook these two hoses off the heater core. Ooh, that one came off very nicely. Now this one over here is hard piped in all the way over to there. I don't know how much flexibility is in that aluminum pipe. We're gonna pull the clamp back a little, as far as it goes. And give it a very gentle pull. I can see it sliding off the pipe there on the heater core. I just don't want it to surprise me and then end up breaking something. So we're just going to wiggle it very gently, massage that baby. Okay, it doesn't have a lot of room to move. About that far, just enough to come off the nipple. There's a 10 mil on that firewall, which I don't think I can easily get to with anything powered. Oh, not even close. Let's get a long extension and a swivel. See if we can't get in there and loosen that up. That would give us, I think, just that little bit of extra room we need. Need a shorter swivel. Come on, baby. Come on. Get around there, right? Got to reach back and almost. It's sitting right on the end of that stud. I got you. Oh, I'm gonna drop you. I got you again. So there's that. There we go. Now we're talking. Now we got the room, boys. Let's go get a couple hoses we can stick on there, and we'll give it a few blasters with the old blaster gun and get any junk out of there that might be in there. Water hose, air hose, so you can control how much water comes out. I keep the water pressure down a little bit too. And then you give her some of those. So we'll calm down the water a little bit. Now before you start getting after it, blow the water out of the heater core there first. And like I say, be careful with your air pressure. It can get stupid. You don't want it to break. Somebody's gonna get wet. All right, so we blew all the stuff out of the heater core. So then we just go gingerly at first. Get a little water in there. And I just let it keep going like this and just keep agitating it. We need a little more water flow. You'll get a feel for it. My garden hose is kind of heavy, and I worry about this thing because it's plastic. I just assume it's going to break. Now I'm going to switch hoses. Everybody's sitting it on the ground. We'll switch hoses and we'll go the other direction. Stick this hose down somewhere safe. Or at least where it won't blast you. Guess we can try to fish it back down there where the other one was. Just had this one fished down by the front wheel. There we go. So we'll do the same thing there. Get her going. Oh great, this hose is slotted. Must be I've been doing some funny business before. Okay, here we go. See how it's agitating that other hose there. It usually works quite well. Once you're done doing that, we'll blast her out with some water or air. Get all the water out of the heater cord. Okay, that's it. I'm pretty confident with that. Like I say, this usually works quite well. I think I've showed in other videos, I have a pump setup that I use for heater cords that are excessively, insanely plugged. I'll use a chemical flush, some CLR, radiator flush, and I just circulate it around in a pump. I need to get these clamps back up where they were and then get them to release. Now the easy part, we're gonna fill her up. We got some Asian blue, 50/50. It's a Xerox flavored. Napa makes some in the store brand too. I just buy whichever one's on sale. It's the same price if you buy concentrate and mix it yourself as it is if you buy 50/50. At least when we purchased it, it is. And then the good news is you don't have jugs sitting around the shop where you're questioning, is that one mixed? Is it mixed correctly? So I buy all my coolant in 50/50. Contact. Got her done before the snow melted off the roof. Even good. Even better. Even good. Listen to this guy. We're just about fully warmed up. Even just sitting here at an idle. I mean, it's hot coming out of the dash. We're almost coming up on 125F. And that's just on low speed, which is usually your hottest. So this fella should be happy now. We're coming out of the dash, coming up on 170. I mean, it's going to get up to full temp, which should be, I think, around 180. I think the thermostat was in this thing. You can see we're running about half gauge there, which is good. I would expect this, 160 to 180, I would think. Stick her up on full blaster, which usually drops the temp a little bit. Running her at full blast. Flat road, light load, 1,800 R's or so. She's steadying out about 175, we'll call it, 175, 180. So it's good, it's hot in here. We're gonna turn it down one peg. I'm happy. So we'll leave it at that, folks. I think this guy will be happy. Has some good heat now, and fortunately, we went all the way and we found that broken clamp, which is great because that would have been super embarrassing to have not found it or not noticed it right off during preliminary inspection that this guy gave, where clearly he didn't get down there with his mirror to shine on it. That's neither here nor there. The good news is, whether it was by luck or divine intervention, we found the issue, or a issue that could have been a big issue. So that's good. Keep that in mind. Always go all the way, folks. And where you got that in your mind, go all the way down into that comment section. Questions, comments, Insta, Facebook. Just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.